So as we all know that Gregor Johann Mendel is called as father of genetics. And we have already studied that he conducted experiments on pea plants for 7 years. After conducting experiments, he proposed 3 laws mainly. And we are going to study every law in detail. So that is called as principles or laws of inheritance. So here we are going to see 3 laws, that is law of dominance, or it is also called as Mendel's first law. Second one is law of segregation or Mendel's second law. And the third one is law of independent assortment. And please note that the first 2 law, whatever I am telling, that is Mendel's first law and Mendel's second law. In reference book it is different, whereas in NCERT textbook you are having law of dominance is considered as Mendel's first law. And according to our NCERT textbook I have given here, so law of dominance is first law and law of segregation is called as second law. And the third law also we can call, or just law of independent assortment can also be called. So here we are going to study under first law, that is law of dominance. So in this video we are going to study only this first law. So in this he has given 3 important postulates. The first one is characters are controlled by discrete units called factors. Now you should know what exactly the characters are. So now, as you can see in the picture, a plant. Now in this plant we can find that, so the plant is having several characteristic features. So what are the characters? So imagine now the flower color of the flower. Then next we can say the petals, number of petals in the flower. Imagine I am just writing short forms, number of petals in the flower. Next we can say leaf pattern, how the leaves are arranged. So imagine now it might be arranged oppositely, or it may be arranged alternative arrangement of leaves, like that. Next we can say color of the leaf. So what is the color of leaf? Okay. Then coming to height of the plant. So like this, height of plant. So H3 means height of plant. Like this, if you observe, in a single plant you will find several characters. So that is the meaning of character. Okay. So now characters are controlled by discrete units called factors. So what does it mean? Means all these factors are controlled by a particular gene. In a plant, we know that many cells are present. Inside the cells, nucleus is there. Inside the nucleus, DNA. DNA contains many genes. So now, there are certain genes. Now imagine a gene is responsible. One gene is responsible for flower color. And another gene. So gene number 2. Imagine responsible for number of petals. So leaf pattern, it is also controlled by another gene. Like this, several genes are present. Each gene is responsible for a particular character. So in earlier days, that is Mendel, when he was conducting experiment, instead of using the gene, he used the term factor. Very, very important thing, you should know that. So according to Mendel, he said that the factors are responsible to control each and every characteristic features either in plants or in animals. Now, nowadays, instead of using factors, we are using the name as gene. So this is the first one. Let us see the second one, what he has explained. So second one is factors occur in pair. So just now I told you factors is nothing but a gene. Now for one character, so how many genes factors are present means pair. So one character, one pair of genes are present. Very, very important. One character, one pair of genes are present. So to understand that, I have given here the chromosomes, homologous chromosomes. So when you see this chromosome, we know that half of the genes we are getting from father through sperm, half of the genes we are getting from mother through ovum. So when sperm and ovum fertilizes, then we are going to get a zygote which contains father's gene as well as mother's genes. In the same way, here I have shown you homologous chromosomes. As you all know that we are having 23 pairs of chromosomes. 23 pairs of chromosomes. So first pair of chromosomes, second pair of chromosome, like that we will talk. Now here you can see it is seen in case of a rat. Imagine it is a chromosome of rat. So here you can see this is a parent 1, father's gene. Imagine you can think parent 1 as a father gene and parent 2 as a mother's gene. Okay, father and mother. Okay, so now here we can find that. So this is a gene, the first one they have shown you here, the gene responsible for regulating the temperature. So how many genes are there? In this chromosome, one gene. In this chromosome, another gene. So from father also you are getting gene responsible for regulating the temperature. From the mother also you are getting a gene responsible for regulating the temperature, either in animals or in plants. So which are diploid organisms. Okay. So now here you can see, as I told you, imagine a rat. So in the rat also same thing is happening. So here you can see gene for eye color. So here from the father you are getting a blue color and from the mother you are getting brown color. So sometimes the genes will be different but the coding for the gene is same. Both are coding for eye color. So here you can see gene for fur texture and then again gene for production of fur. So gene for production of nails. Just example I am giving here. You can see in all diploid organisms. Okay. So they are having a pair of genes. Okay. So for every character, one pair of genes are present. Okay. Sometimes it may be same. Sometimes it may be different. You can see here production of eye color from the father and from the mother. Same color, same type of gene has came. Whereas when you see the gene for fur texture, it is different. So a slight variation will be present in some. Okay. So next one, the third thing is very important thing under law of dominance. So it is nothing but in a hybrid where both contrasting alleles are present. Understand the concept here. In a hybrid where both the contrasting alleles are present, only one allele called dominant, it is able to express itself and the other factor or other gene remains suppressed or mask the one character. So that is the masked character is called recessive gene or recessive factor. The one which is expressed, it is called as dominant factor. So which is seen in F1 generation, in the first generation. This third one you will understand when we take one example. So let us see an example here. So now, as we all know that Mendel conducted experiments on pea plants. So now we are taken example as a pea plant. Now the first plant here you are seeing pure tall. This is a tall plant. This is a tall plant. So by seeing only you can make out tall plant. So it is called pure tall or it is also called as homologous tall, okay, or homozygous tall. So we have studied homozygous means it is having similar type of genes. So recall, for dominant we have studied that the dominant characters are written by capital letters, and this is a plant which is going to produce. So from this plant, if you are getting a seeds, so all seeds will grow tall only. That is what is the meaning of pure tall or homozygous tall, because it is having the genes for only tallness. Now, so here you can see this is a plant, dwarf plant. Dwarf or short, both are one and the same. You can tell dwarf or short. So this is a short plant which is also a pure. So if you collect seeds from this plant, so imagine 200 seeds you have collected, all 200 plants, from that seed will grow short only. So that is the meaning of pure dwarf. Okay. So now Mendel, what he did, he hybridized, crossbreeding, hybridization technique he has used. He collected the pollen grains from this plant. Now, if we are collecting pollen grains from dwarf plant, so it is considered as a male plant. So, out of two plants, so the Mendel considered dwarf plant as a male plant and this plant as a female plant. So now, as we have studied the techniques involved, emasculation, okay, then dusting the pollen grains, all those steps are involved here. So what he did, he collected pollen grains from this plant, okay, pollen grains. We know that pollen grains are male gametes. So from the stamens, he has collected the pollen grains and he deposited on the stigma of this. So here we know that in this they have already removed the stamens. So self-fertilization does not take place. So pollen grains of the dwarf plant is deposited on the tall pea plant. So now what happens? So in this there is a egg. Okay, female part, egg is present. Now pollen grains and the egg will undergo fertilization. So the first step here, what you have written for pure tall, you have written first parents. So these steps are very, very important in genetics. So first you are writing parents, pure tall, pure dwarf. Next step you are writing genotype. Genotypes means for tall, what are the genes present in it. So the genes for tall is, in this plant it is capital T, and in this plant it is small t. Next thing is gametes. So we all know that gametes are haploid in number, half of the chromosomes. So pollen grains will have half of the chromosomes, egg will have half of the chromosome. Because of that, out of two capital T's, so here you have written gametes. So here, because this is a egg will have half of the gametes. So you have written only one capital T. For gametes, even you can round it up. If you are rounding up that particular letter, it means it is a gamete containing half of the chromosome. Now pure dwarf. So for this also, now from pure dwarf you have collected what? Pollen grains. So pollen grains are also haploid in nature. So here also you are writing small t. So that is why for gametes they are having half of the chromosomes. That is the reason out of two capital T you have written one capital T. Out of two small t's you have written only one small t. Now the next step is what? Fertilization takes place. So once the fertilization takes place, we are calling syngamy or fertilization. So imagine now it is syngamy. So syngamy is nothing but fertilization. I'll just write on either side. Okay, syngamy. So syngamy is, as I told you, it is the other name for fertilization. Syngamy. Okay. So now, once the fertilization takes place, both the gametes, pollen grain and the egg, will fuse. So now what you are writing here is, from here you got capital T. From this side, that is from the father paternal gene, you got small t. So this is what is F1 generation, first generation. These two are parents. From this parent you got one seed. Imagine one seed you collected. From that seed you got a plant. So that plant is F1 generation, first generation, filial generation. Now this plant, now the question is here. So it is having one capital T and one small t. So please understand this concept carefully. So F1 generation, it is having one capital T and one small t. So capital T is for tallness, small t is for shortness. So the expressed, when you sow that seed, the plant obtained is tall. So this is called as hybrid plant. It is called as hybrid plant. Because it is having both the genes, capital T and small t, it is called as heterozygous. Heterozygous tall. Heterozygous tall. As I told you, this is homozygous tall. This is homozygous. Please understand the concept here. This is homozygous tall. This is homozygous dwarf. But the F1 generation you got heterozygous tall. Means the plant obtained is tall. So in this you are seeing only tall plant. So it clearly indicates that. So tall is dominant and small t is recessive. So one of the allele out of these two genes, one is dominant and the another one is recessive. So dominant one is expressed and the recessive one is not expressed in a hybrid condition. So that is what is the meaning of the third statement. So in a hybrid, one will be dominant, the other one will be recessive. Dominant one is expressed. Expressed means from this you are getting only tall plant, but it is having the gene capital T and small t. So this is what is the first law tells us. So dominant gene is expressed. Okay. So in the next slide we are going to observe very important facts of pea plant, because in NEET exam they can ask these questions. So coming to the Pisum sativum, which is called as a pea plant, its chromosome number in each cell, the chromosomes are 14. So it is having 14 chromosomes. 2n is equal to 14. Diploid number is 14 chromosomes are present in each cell. And next we can say that, so whatever we have studied, 14 characteristic features. Remembering, the Mendel selected 7 pairs of contrasting characters like tallness, then shape of the seed, then color of the seed, all those things. 7 characters he has observed. So we are going to see in which chromosomes those characters were present. So now coming to here in the chromosome number 1. So we told here 2n is equal to 14 means it is having 7 pairs of chromosomes. So in the first chromosome there are 2 characters were located. So in the first chromosome there will be many genes will be there. Okay, but Mendel selected 14 characters or 7 pairs of characters he has selected. No, out of that 2 of them are present in the first chromosome. Next thing is, in the second chromosome there are many genes, but whatever Mendel selected, those characters are not there. Then in the third chromosome also it is not there. And when it comes to the fourth chromosome, there are 3 characters were located in the chromosome number 4. So in the chromosome number 4, there are 3 characteristic features. And next one is in the fifth chromosome, 1 gene or 1 character is located. And in the 7th one, nothing is present. In the 6th one, nothing is present. When it comes to the 7th one, again 1 character is present. So Mendel selected 7 contrasting characters. Where exactly they are present means, so 2 characters were located in the first, 3 characters were present in the 4th chromosome, 1 character is present in the 5th chromosome, and 1 character is present in the 7th chromosome. Okay, so next session we are going to study about Mendel's second law.